p.m. Thursday, August 20th, 2026, and I'm making breakfast. I totally didn't think about breakfast in my transition from my sleep stream to my breakfast stream. I was like, oh wait, I'm making breakfast. So I'll be streaming a lot sooner than I thought. I think I'm starting to figure out like why homosexuality was illegal. I think it's an ethical thing. I think bisexuality falls underneath homosexuality too. Because, like, I thought I was gonna get a lot of support from these guys online in VR chat, and then they just have one thing in their minds, I guess. I mean, if that thing is not you, like, then they're not gonna be as supportive as a regular friend might be, I suppose. I don't know. It's interesting. I never would have thought I would have these sort of thoughts or mindset of like why things were the way they were. I thought I had that kind of understood as like, oh, that's not fair. It's like not giving rights. But I'm like, maybe there was an ethical reason for it. I don't know. Okay. Peanut buster. I gotta start making some other things to eat. It's getting a little crazy. Same thing all the time. I think that's why I was having abdominal pain yesterday. My body was like, you're making the same thing. It's too much sweetness. Or something. I think I'll put less molasses in today. Hello. How are you doing? Good morning. Jake is good. 571. I'm making breakfast. I'm having molasses, crunchy peanut butter, 2 mashed bananas, psyllium husk, cacao powder, and raw cashews. How's everyone doing? Oh. What are you doing? What are you doing? I play VR chat. I play some games on there like Crystal Defenders, Past Sketch. What else do I play on there? Idle Mining. Hey, Serenity Hilliard. Hello. Nice to see you. How are you doing? Weird one. Hey, thanks for the like. I think I should let this absorb some moisture. The psyllium husk in here should have some time. Nice. You play VR as well, but you play job VR? Maybe you can do different jobs. In VR chat? Or which one is that? I should try that one. Oh, okay. I feel like I've heard of that game before. Is it like kind of like based in like was framed in like the 90s? With like old computers? Like in one of the areas? What cartoon is this? Britannicus travels around the world. Interesting, interesting. Okay, let's see.
I was going to say that the Vindman hoax, that was one of the greatest fake news hoaxes ever. They made it look, Vindman, they had him put on the dressing room with all the medals. They made it look like he was a major military figure, that he was a foreign policy expert from the White House. Turned out he was a broken down schmuck who worked 3 blocks away in a cubicle. It was of no importance, just a tiny, tiny bureaucrat. You remember
So what's job VR?
They had the car pull up 2 blocks away so they would film him walking down the sidewalk in uniform.
Yes, I love when Democrats play activism shots.
And then, of course, it went nowhere because it was a hoax. It was the stupidest thing to do. But then he became this liberal darling. Remember, Larry David even started in an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. So
Yeah, that's not a good sign. I really like Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's so annoying when it is looked like that. Vindman's utter catastrophic failure reminds me of another one, which we've discussed before, my old pal, George Conway.
Oh, yeah.
Like Vindman, both of them sort of ran in Democratic primaries, and their main point was, I basically stood up to Donald Trump. We must stop this madness. And when Conway came in, like 7 to 7 candidates on Upper West Side and Upper East Side district? Wow. So I don't think he stood up to this Trump lunatic is really working for the Democrats.
No, and this woman that won, she's a socialist, Angie Nixon, but it's Florida, big Cuban population. They're not going to go for it, but they know better about socialism. She has no chance to win, does she?
I don't know the districts, but there are also a lot of Puerto Ricans in Florida, so it could be. And by the way, they're becoming a little more Republican, still majority Democrat. And again, Cubans are another immigrant group. They vote. I don't know single issue with Cuba, but pretty big issue. And I as my previous commentary indicates, it kind of annoys me when people come from other countries, and their big thing is, what are you going to do for the country I came from? Ilhan Omar in Minnesota is like that. She stands up a press release and says, my number 1 issue is the welfare of the Somalian people. You go back to Somalia.
create some boogeyman to go after. So I guess right now it's ICE, this awful boogeyman. It's been around forever, ICE, but all of a sudden it's evil. We got to stop it. What is that tactic? And where did that all come from? Just create a boogeyman to rile people up with.
It's not so much a tactic described in my book, Monica, about mobs and groupthink. It's a psychological compulsion when you get a group of people together. I'm starting with the French Revolution. To get a man to do something that he would never do on his own when he's in a group. And obviously you see that with all kinds of, especially mobs in America. You know, the anti-ICE people, obviously basically saying, remember Occupy Wall Street, all these stuff. And there's certain indicia of this group thing. One is, and very distinctive with the Democratic Party, which was kind of the point of my book, how all of the characteristics of groupthink looked, and they describe one political party in this country and not the other. But one of them is that you must turn your opponents into, absolute demons, whereas the people on your side are, perfectly angelic. And, as I pointed out time and again on your show before, Democratic women are constantly having sex dreams about their candidates. They did it with Clinton, they did it with Obama, they did it with Andrew Cuomo. I'm not saying but meanwhile, Republicans are always attacking our champions. We're always criticizing Republican presidents. Even Ronald Reagan came under some rather ferocious attack from the right flank toward the end of his administration when he was pushing glass nose with Gorbachev and right-wingers didn't trust Russia. Well, Reagan was right. But my point is, nobody had sex dreams about Reagan. And either the Bush president, and we're perfectly comfortable attacking our own side. We want to make them better. But yes, this worship and demonization is a psychological compulsion when people aren't thinking rationally, i.e. they're Democrats.
Well, again, Ann book, Demonic. You can read all about it. She wrote a book about Demonic. And hey, there's one big problem. This is how Agnes, Angie Nixon, beat the Finland. These Democrats, they are organized where they go out, they have a ground game, they're knocking on doors, they're working phone banks. But the Republican supporters, they just go to these Republican clubs and have cocktail parties. They don't go out and get anything done. You're reason why all they do is get you to come speak and they chase you around and take selfies. They got to get out there and do something. Not with the cocktail parties. Would you agree?
I think the cocktail parties, particularly the ones where I speak, are extremely valuable. Extremely valuable. No, there does have to be. You need to become a flatter. Of course, you want to get the donors interested and give people the arguments that they're making with their neighbors. And when they give, these speeches to all their town council. But yeah, you need a big crowd. You need to get more young people involved because they're happy to knock on doors. Just don't make them obnoxious ones like the ones who were knocking on doors for Howard Dean. Remember that? The fact they're getting caps. And they still annoy the people of Iowa. People lost. People supposed to have this giant little ground game machine. So that isn't necessarily enough. But I don't know much about retail politics. That's like my thing. I'm more of a big picture person. But my friend Brian Turdowski is actually, like you, was always complaining. You got to knock on doors. You need a ground game getting involved.
Yeah. All right, let me get that book, Demonic. It's fascinating. Ann Coulter, any of her books. Of course, read her column and follow her on Twitter, Ann Coulter Twitter, and Substack. She's got columns and videos and podcasts on AnnCoulter.substack.com. And make sure you watch her Rumble channel. A lot of great videos there. Ann Coulter on Rumble. And Ann Coulter, thanks for being with us.
Good to talk to you, Mark. What you can do about getting rid of mom nothing?
We'll work on it. Talk to you next week. Take care. Bye.
You give someone, the more they will value you. It sounds logical, but human psychology often works in the opposite direction. The moment you begin chasing someone's approval, constantly seeking their attention, or making them the center of your world, you unintentionally remove the very thing that creates attraction. Mystery. People become curious about what they cannot fully predict, but they rarely remain fascinated by what is always available. This is why ignoring people, when done with confidence rather than bitterness, can completely change the way they see you. Most people don't realize that attention is a form of power. Every message you send, every instant reply, every attempt to keep a conversation alive communicates something about your emotional state. If your actions reveal that your happiness depends on someone noticing you, they immediately understand where your priorities lie. They no longer have to earn your attention because you've already given it away. And when something becomes free and unlimited, the human mind naturally begins to value it less. Robert Greene repeatedly explores the idea that scarcity increases value. Throughout history, rare things have always attracted greater interest than common ones. The same principle shapes human relationships. When someone knows they can have your attention whenever they want, they stop appreciating it. But the moment you stop chasing, stop over-explaining, and stop making yourself constantly available, something unexpected happens. Their certainty disappears. They begin asking questions they never asked before. Why did they pull back? What are they focused on? Have they lost interest? Curiosity quietly replaces certainty, and curiosity is one of the strongest forces behind attraction. This is where many people become confused. Ignoring someone does not mean playing childish mind games or pretending another person doesn't exist. That isn't confidence. It is insecurity wearing a mask. Strategic distance is different. It simply means refusing to let your emotions control your actions. It means your life continues moving forward whether someone responds to you or not. You remain focused on your goals, your growth, and your purpose instead of constantly checking whether someone has noticed you. Ironically, the less desperate you become for attention, the more attention you begin to receive. Think about two different people. At first sends repeated messages after getting no reply, constantly starts every conversation, and feels anxious whenever someone becomes distant. The second reaches out when necessary but never chases. They respect others, yet they also respect their own time. If someone chooses to step away, they don't beg them to stay. Instead, they continue building their own life, which person naturally creates more attraction. Almost always, it is the second. Not because they ignored someone as a tactic, but because their confidence made them emotionally independent. That independence is incredibly attractive because it signals abundance rather than need. Human beings are naturally drawn toward those who appear complete on their own. When your happiness is not dependent on another person's attention, you become unpredictable in the healthiest possible way. Others can no longer control your emotions by giving or withholding validation. That shift changes the entire dynamic. Instead of wondering whether they like you, they begin wondering whether you still have room for them in your life. There is another psychological principle at work. People often notice your absence more than your constant presence. When someone is always available, the mind quickly adapts and starts taking that presence for granted. But when your attention is no longer guaranteed, people become more aware of what they may be losing. It is not because you manipulated them, it is because the human mind instinctively values what is no longer certain.
Huh. Interesting. Well, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Especially thank you for commenting because it gives me something to work with. Okay, now I think I won't be streaming until much later. I think so. So I'll see your comments in the next stream. Thank you for joining. Bye.